Hello everyone, Darren here, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Now in the last episode, I began work on a new transport hub, which is a bottom tier for trucks to load up several goods from surrounding factories, and then a top tier to ship it all off via rail. Now it's not fully working just yet. We should get it up and running later on in the episode. The framework for the building, the truck stations, the train station, that's all in place. We just need to actually get some of the materials to go there. Now, more importantly, over on the right-hand side of the screen on our to-do list, today, we're going to be loading up the space elevator and finally hitting the last two tiers that are available in the game as of right now, Tier 7 and Tier 8. Completely uncharted territory for me. I've had a brief look on the wiki at what I'm getting myself into, which seems mental, by the way, even just Tier 7. I don't even want to think of Tier 8. But anyway, we're going to be working on that just now, seeing as at the end of the last episode, we had our little manufacturer over here, our lone manufacturer producing sort of the goods that we needed to finalize what we need for the space elevator, the modular engines and the adaptive control units. They're all well and good and ready to go now. 100 adaptive control units in this container, 500 modular engines, and 100 versatile framework. In this one, 2,400 versatile framework. So we are golden. Let's get started, because this is going to take a little while to basically fill this all up. Boom. Alrighty. We're also going to be working on finishing up that transport hub and doing a bunch of cleanup projects, including working on the screw factory, adding an overflow system to the oil processing plant, and then just a few things to do with the train station over there as well, and then starting work on the most ambitious build I have yet. It's crazy. I don't know how long it's going to take to do, but I'm going to build something I'm going to call a hyperforge. I'm sure over the next many episodes, but also we should have enough material to advance the first milestone to see how we make aluminum. So that's going to be exciting. Lock us in. All right. We are lined up. So let's get our belts. We'll load a belt straight into this side. Load this one into here. And there we go. 100 adaptive control units, modular engines flowing in now right behind them. And the versatile frameworks are on their way. So while that fills up, we'll just have a quick look at the actual building itself. There we go, 2,500 is needed, so it's going to take a little while, not that long, but a little while to fill up. In the meantime, I'm going to start work on deconstructing part of the screw factory. I'm going to do a bunch of cleanup projects as we go in the future, but right now, because I've changed the recipe of this building from using the traditional screw recipe to using the cast iron screw, just using straight from the iron ingot recipe, cutting out the iron rods completely. This floor up here has no more use, and the floor below me, coincidentally, this is where we store up our screws. This is where they get to. So this is the top floor effectively now for this production. It actually matches perfectly the height of the road that leads into here. So I'm probably going to build some truck stations right here, and this will be just the top floor for taking in the goods. And remember, this screw factory is at half capacity. Well, I say capacity. The building blueprints, the architectural blueprints that I laid out for this building was that I could double it up really easily. And that's why there's 4 glass panels here that can show belts flowing up and flowing down, but we're only ever using one side of it. We can actually just double it up really quickly, so I plan on doing that as well. So we can double the production of screws here to about 1,800 per minute, which isn't insane, but it's better than the 950 or whatever that we have currently. So while we're loading that space elevator up right now, I'm just going to start the deconstruction process, because I've emptied my inventory a little bit by putting that down there. So effectively, what I was initially planning on doing was saying that this is where we used to have a truck station, but now, and I was going to just add the road on here and send it up there, but because I realized that floor is the same height, I can now get rid of this, and get rid of this entire floor really, and everything that's kind of hanging out here. Because I just thought it looked a bit finicky, you know, the kind of curved ramps, the height was a little off, nothing was really working the way I wanted it to, so best just to get rid of it, I think. So yeah, you know what? I'll just do this. I'll remove all of this floor, and this basically just going to be chopping off this side of the building, and then we'll resume when that's done. Alrighty, so that looks like it's pretty much done. So we just, basically just a hard slice on that side of the building there. So we're just going to make our way over to, back over to the space elevator. Should be loaded up now. We can send it off, get our tier 7 and tier 8, and hopefully get that first milestone done for tier 7 as well. Now, some people have said before, oh, you know, you shouldn't really tear down anything you built. It's kind of cool to look back over it in the past. I just don't agree with that, so I'm just going to get rid of stuff I feel like is outdated. I have proof that it existed in YouTube video format, so I'm fine with it. Seal it up. Send it off. Alright, there we go. New project assembly phase systems. Oh my god. Watch out. Punch it. Let's go. Alright, great. So that's done. All of that work for that. It is satisfying though, I must admit. Clicking those things to send it off. I'm gonna tear this down now though. See you later. We don't need that anymore. I can take back those materials. Do I have everything? So space in my inventory? I do. Just want to make sure I didn't leave a crate behind. There's one of my radar or my compass somewhere over there. Actually, I just need to grab some. We're still making them, are we? Heavy modular frames. I must have run out of something. It looks like I ran out of encased industrial beams. Oh, we're still making them. 48. Yeah, I'll make them for a little while longer. Sweet. So basically, it's also just kind of an OCD thing. It's like I just don't want anything standing if it's not really doing something. And this place has just been an eyesore since I began the game. And I really want to get rid of it at some point as well. And I will. So say goodbye to it eventually. It's not going to be there permanently. But like I said, yeah, I want to pull everything together in a giant hyperforge. So... Alright, ladies and gentlemen, apologies. I had to make a quick cut there right at the beginning of the episode, basically, where my audio levels just died again. That actually happened in the previous episode, so hopefully the game's not becoming, like, unstable for me or something. Hopefully it was just, like, a wild fluke. Anyway, I don't think I've missed anything. I caught it pretty quickly yet again. I was just making my way up to the hub, so we could actually have a look at Tier 7 and Tier 8 milestones, or the collection of milestones, the phases, really, and also advance the next milestone. I was also talking, just actually really quickly, about why I chop off parts of factories or why I'll decommission factories and things that are outdated. Sometimes it's just generally to save power or just because it's a little OCD thing for me, but I've also got a plan for the future. Very quickly, my general plan is to build several of these kind of transport hubs or these transport depots where on the bottom tier we feed in all these resources via collection through trucks, and on the top we ship it off with rail. Makes total sense. You know, trucks for shorter deliveries, rail for longer deliveries. But what I'm planning on doing is actually getting every single node in an entire region and getting trucks to deliver the ore, the raw ore, into the truck depots and ship all the ore off via rail to a mega foundry, a hyper forge, if you want to call it that. That's a plan I have for the future. And I've been working on it for a while because I know I missed my previous episode, and apologies for that. I was actually away again. But anyway... something I have been doing behind the scenes is working out how do I do sorting, because there's actually 9 types of ore in the game, and I want this hyperforge to be able to handle all 9 types. I want a train to be able to load up whatever amount of ore it wants, and all different types, in any different carriage, and just come in and then get sorted and filtered. The problem is, really quickly, a freight platform is about the width of 2 foundations, you know, the actual outputs, right? Or the inputs, whatever you want to call it. So it's about the width of 2 foundations. So if you have a line of these, if you've got 10 of them in a row, which I plan on having about 10, you need to work out how can you split ore into 9 separate belts, and you have to do it all within 2 foundations. Or you could do it a different way. I won't bore you with it when we get to it. I'll talk about all that, the other types of ideas I had for it, but that seems to be the best way of doing it. And I've worked it out. I know how to do it. So I'm really looking forward to building that eventually. And that's why I'm saying, like, even this place and these places, a lot of them are going to be either decommissioned or are going to be heavily specialized so that they just take in the material from somewhere else. Anything that has a built-in smelter doesn't really need it anymore. Now, some of them, the legacy factories, I might leave there. But all future factories for sure are just going to be, like, ready to take in pressed ingots from this hyperforge. So I'm looking forward to it. I'd be curious to see what people think of that idea. I know I'm stalling a bit here, but one last thing I was going to say about it was I was worried that, I'd like to build all over the map. I've barely gone anywhere in the map. I'm almost just kind of focused down here all the time. And why would I ever go anywhere if everything's going to be brought into one factory? Because I don't want to do a mega factory. I want to have separate factories elsewhere. But when it comes to things like oil or water or, I don't know, even for just visual variety, I'll be going around the map so that big railway delivers its pressed ingots to different places. So it should be fun. It's super ambitious. It's going to be really difficult to do, but I look forward to it. And we'll get working on that probably in the next couple of episodes, I would imagine. All right, so loading up the space elevator is now done. Inside of tier, there we go. Bauxite, logistics, hazmat, aeronautical engineering. Yeah, I've never used drones. I've heard mixed things about them, though. About how people feel about them. The hover pack, nuclear power, Jesus. You only need a casual... Oh, you know what? We could actually drop in the concrete and the cables and the thing. So what do we need? I just need supercomputers to start working on nuclear power. I could do that. Supercomputers aren't that difficult, I don't think. But let's not go there yet. Let's just start with what's in front of me. Right, so we're going to do bauxite refinement. This is for aluminum. So we'll make aluminum ingots, alclad aluminum sheets, casing, radio control units, a blender building, capable of blending fluids and combining them with solid parts in various processes. So I promise you, I have not looked into how I'm ever going to use this or what this building is going to use. Like, how do you use a blender or what's needed for it? I've basically looked at this, and that's as far as I've ever seen. Because I'm just like, I have no idea. Until I start making aluminum stuff, there's no point looking anywhere else because you're going to need it. You need alclad aluminum sheets to get to the next conveyors. And I just like seeing what it's capable of, right? It's capable of 780 resources a minute. Once I know that number, now I'm like, okay, I can plan for it in the future. So that's all I really need to know without even having got it yet. So let's select this milestone. Let's start dumping stuff in. I should have most things here. I've got enough motors already. Bit short on other things, but that's okay. I have prepared. I looked it up on the wiki. Got my rubber. That should be everything I need. Alrighty, just like that. Bauxite refinement. Let's go. So with that done now...
Milestone reached. Quartz and bauxite scanning unlocked. A new generation of basic aluminum parts is now available, which can be constructed from bauxite after a complex process of refinement. The blender will be used in future processes.
Let's have a look at what a blender costs. Blender. Blender, there we go. Oh, so this needs aluminum casing, so we're not going to be building a blender at least until... And a radio... See, I have no idea. Let's have a look. So, a radio control unit takes aluminum casing, crystallized oscillators or crystal oscillators computers. Oh, jeez. And then aluminum casing takes aluminum ingots. Okay. And that gets pressed in a constructor. And then this takes... Oh my god. It takes scrap and silica. That gives us a use for our silica, because I actually have a bunch that's just being awesome synced right now, or sunk. Okay, so how do we get aluminum scrap then? Aluminum scrap is alumina solution with coal that then outputs scrap and water. Oh, weird. Okay, what about aluminum solution? How do we get that? We need bauxite and water to create aluminum solution. Oh, and it outputs silica. Oh, right. I had no idea. Okay. There's an alternate recipe that we already have for it, which is just the packaged version. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's quite interesting. Yeah, I just haven't seen that. Let me look that up just one more time. Just one last thing I want to check with it. Blender. Open a codex. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to get back to the casing. So casing, then it goes to ingots, then it goes to... So, yeah. So, you actually need... Okay. I was just looking at the amounts of scrap. 75 silica per minute. And how much do you get out of this? You get 50. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was just trying to work out. It's like, do you get the same amount you need? But obviously not. You get a little bit less than you need. That's alright, we have some. Okay, I'll work on all that in the future, but that at least gives us the ability to now scan for bauxite. Don't know if there's any down here, or how rare it is. We've seen little pockets of it every now and then, the little bits that you can chip away. Oh my god. Is this super rare? Where the hell is it? Okay, there's some. A pure node to the north. I'll have to go exploring later. Maybe get the radar tower out. Got a few more. Okay, got 3 nodes in the center of the map, it looks like. Alright, gives us a lot to work towards. So, what should we do next? Finish the screw factory, I reckon. I'd like to double this up. It has the blueprints for being doubled up and outputting twice as much, so I'd like to get that done. So I think I'll work on this next. And this should be easy enough to do. We're just mirroring one side as the other. I can actually get rid of some of this stuff here as well and put a wall back on this. This is for the lights on the outside that are gone now. Yeah, so let me just have a look at my to-do list. So finish the transport hub, finish the screw factory, add fuel. Yeah, so I'm going to do the screw factory first because this is going to have a station upstairs. So basically, what do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18 constructors. Do I have what I need to make 18? Oh, we've already done this floor. Sweet. I guess you just have to go upstairs and do the next one then. Oh, right. They have what they need, but they were never... When did I build this? Oh, I built this in between episodes. I totally forgot about that. Nice. Good job, Darren. Saving some time. Yeah. I've never fed these in. That's why. There's nothing downstairs, I don't think. I was like, what? I don't remember this being on this side. But yeah, down here, yeah, see, it's all empty. It's ready to go. It's ready to be all hooked up. Yeah. Okay, right. We'll go down another floor. So these are smelters. I don't think I've done them. No. All right, so we'll do 7 smelters. Is it 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, wow, 9 smelters. Easy enough to make as well, and we can just lock them like this. I think that's right. Just once we get the first one. It looks like it's a bit too far forward. I'll just check on this side how I did it. Yeah, that center point is basically on the line. Okay. And the input's at the back. Okay. So just lock it to... I don't know what it's snapping to currently. That seems about right, I think. And then it just needs to go forward correctly about to there. I think that's right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, sweet. So I'll try to do this really quickly. We'll just pop down all of the floor holes, and then downstairs I'll hook up everything logistics. And this should allow us to just output vastly more screws, basically. And then we'll have a look I'll probably look in between episodes at how that blender and stuff works, or at least how to get to it. In terms of producing aluminum. That seems crazy. I did see a post recently on the Satisfactory Reddit of people saying, like, I think it was just one person who posted it. It was heavily upvoted about how it was difficult to try and balance aluminum production. Now I guess I know why. It seems complicated. It's like multiple layers of refinement just to get the standard, like to get an aluminum case, basically. Alright, all hooked in, and then this side as well. So this has to be reversed. Always make that mistake. But not anymore, I guess. Where I used to put these down, and then you realize that they're actually facing the wrong... Like, they're not able to take something in, they're only able to take something out. Alright, good. So, if I just copy this recipe, and then we just run over here real quick. Pasted... I don't know how I did that. Oh, well, it's Control V, I guess. Paste. Alright, so these should all be screws ready to... Well, not screws, sorry. They should be taken in, just being made for iron. Again, Hyperforge will handle all this in the future, but I suppose actually these legacy factories might just stay here. And I'll just take the ore away. So... Yeah, so basically, I'm not going to have a second delivery area. I'll just have the one delivery area. So this is where the iron ore comes in, off that truck station, gets fed up, and then comes down. So what I'll have to do is then at the end of this, so it gets fed along here on my right, all the way towards here. And then this will have to go wrap around down this way. And it'll have to wrap around to the back. Yeah. Okay, so just to get this right, something like this. And that'll allow me to get the right position for the first one. So a merger, splitter. So I guess in the middle there is where I'll need it. I'll just make sure that's centralized as well. Yes, it is. And then just line these up, I guess. Shouldn't be too bad. It should line up actually with the ones across from them, so that should make things a little easier now. Okay. Just make sure that's correct. Let's just get level 1. I guess it could have moved back maybe 1, but I don't think it matters. It's... Well, I think it kind of does, actually. It's maybe... it probably is hooked in correctly, but I'll just move these back 1 then. And I'll just speed up through that. So let me just get this first one right. So it needs to be there instead. Alright, and that should be ore traveling into all of these. There they go, they're all getting filled. Oh, that looks so good. All getting filled up, and they'll just stop because these smelters aren't powered currently, so that's fine. Alright, and then this will be where it feeds out, and they'll ultimately just have to feed into these two. How did I do it over here? Did I just have a splitter at the end doing it? Yeah. That's fine with me as well. So I guess something like this, probably. Yep. And that'll just feed straight into that. And I could probably upgrade all the belts here now to be tier 4. Because I'm still using tier 3. So that's going to handle the outputs. Right, so I'll just, you know, speed up through this. But you get the idea. Just going to mirror this side on this. This would be the outputs coming out, facing in that way. So let's do it. Alright, there we go. So they're all the outputs are now hooked up to mergers, and they all have their belts going between them. I did say I might upgrade the belt, but I guess there's no need to. There's 9 smelters that output 30 ingots per minute, so that's 270. So 270 is the max that belt can hold anyway, so I don't really think I need to upgrade the belt. But you can if you want. I suppose you could if you wanted to. And let's just feed that in. So there we go. So we just have to go upstairs now and power these back on. Oops, wrong room. I guess we could just go upstairs then. Yeah, so they just need their power. So we've got power poles and stuff up here. This is connected to all the smelters on this side. Oh, Darren, what have you gone and done? I usually say that the B side is the machines, yes. Okay, well, if I wanted to switch off the other half of the factory, I suppose I could just double this up. That's the A side, comes back down just like that, no big deal. And then the B side can go back up. And then this just needs to feed into all of these, I guess. So let's see, where's the actual thing? It's there in the center, so I don't know. Just find a middle point for them all here. It's something like this. And do this for each one. Alrighty, so they're all hooked up with power now. They should have their recipes selected. They just need to get the ore in and be turned on. So I need to just basically pull that switch to turn them on. But I'm not going to do that yet because the iron isn't actually going to go anywhere. We need to now go up another floor to the next logistics level and basically copy this entire system over onto the other side. So that's going to be a nightmare. So I'm basically just going to get to work on that now. Effectively, you know, what it is, just to remind people is... Well, actually, one thing we could do first is have a look inside here. So from below is going to be the glass floors. Yeah, actually, I'm just going to run downstairs really quickly and show you that, because it makes more sense to do that first. So that's where we have the two belts going up. So we've all this hooked up, it just needs to actually get its belt. So what did we... Did I use a tier 3? Yeah. Okay. And which way is it facing? It's facing sideways, but I suppose I'll turn it that way. Okay. So that'll get its second batch of iron ingots flowing up that way. Put the window back on. That window has a crease in it. I can see it. Anyway, so that's going to lead upstairs. We take in the iron ingots then and divide it up into different machines. Now, the reason that this gets complicated is because you produce so many screws that the belts are getting, like, pretty backed up. Am I using the fat belts, though? I am, actually, yeah. So even with the thick belts we have. Now, if I use the belt that does 780, I still don't think that's good enough. I still think I'll need two separate belts, which is why this gets really messy really quickly. But anyway, effectively what's happening is out of the two portholes goes onto one belt and just gets fed down and down in between all these different rows of machines. And that's basically it. So just going to get to work on doing that now on this side. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it. That should be the logistics done for this floor. It basically just mirrors the opposite side of the building. And this one you can actually see is backlogged right now. So I was able to kind of quickly run between the two and just make sure I was doing it the same. The only kind of interesting or slightly complicated thing that happens on this floor is the fact of it's kind of belt management. So these belts can take 480 resources per minute, and we're outputting far more than that in terms of screws. So we can't have it on one belt. It has to go onto two belts, and these two belts then flow all the way back out and just go over the portholes there. They come in, they go back out upstairs. So that's all very well and good and very simple, but in order to separate out the machines properly, there's 18 constructors making screws. So what I had to do is the belts have to split after 9. So there's 3 here, plus the 6 on the far side. So you see 3, and then it goes on this belt up and over, of course. Oh, look, we just found a mistake, actually. A gap. That's why we check our machines. Anyway, so that belt comes up and over, and that connects to the other 6. So that's 9 in total. 9 feeding up along this line and out. And then, similarly, the 3 plus the other 6 on this side go up and over and out that way. So that's how it's working. So we're almost at the point where we can power this on. We just have to go upstairs, make sure that the belts are hooked up here. So these need to be Mark 4s. Feeding all the way up to the top. Oh, we don't have a floor hole here either. Alright, Mark 4 belts selected. Or elevator even. And which way should we face these? Face them in for the aesthetics. I like this factory, but it kind of sucks that there's no lights in it. That's something I'm looking forward to with the idea of doing a hyperforge. It's going to be huge, so it should have lots of room for like lights, pathways, things like that. I'm just going to make it massive, as big as I can, really. And really open floor plan type thing. Are these hooked up with power? Oh my god, they are. Nice. I think we're pretty much ready to start feeding this other side. We just have to go upstairs and actually create a new box for the screws to go into. So just to get the whole building flowing, what I'll do as well is do this. We'll just double up the storage size of these ones. These ones are just backed up because remember it has to go into a truck station somewhere eventually. I haven't done that yet. So the box gets full and then the production stops. So we'll just double its storage. Now the boxes can continue. Alright, so we've just increased the space basically. So now the things downstairs should be flowing again. Yeah, so we can see them kind of moving now. Good. And then this has nothing on it. So similarly on this side to the other side, we need one of those, be honest, they could probably all come out the same side, seeing as we're going to have one, you know, some sort of truck station on this side. Oh, my frame rate's going really low here for some reason. Alright, yeah, so let's just make a storage container then, and then that should be it. We should have this building pretty much operational. And then I'll put a station on it a bit later. This is just to make sure everything's working down below. Alright, good. So I think that's everything hooked up. So I'm just going to run downstairs. We'll turn on the switch for the smelters, and that should allow things to get flowing again. I guess we'll go all the way down to the bottom really quickly. Smelting floor, and then loading bay. So the loading bay, we've got ore traveling along here. Yep, so that's working. We did check that. Good. So we go upstairs onto the smelting floor. This side is this active smelters. The other side is offline right now, so we'll just turn them on. And there we go, they're all powering on. So we should see, give it a moment, more ingots flowing up this side. Now I wonder why those are getting kind of backlogged. I won't worry about it too much. There we go, we can see our ingots starting to move up now, finally. Good. So we're on floor 1, let's just head to floor 3. And we can see these screws flying up from one side. One side of them a lot more than the other, and then soon we should see these coming online. It's because some of the machines aren't working, are they not? Let's see why. Oh, they're just literally maxed out because they're obviously like all backlogged and stuff. Doesn't really explain why that would be less. I might just check the belt downstairs to make sure everything's working. There definitely seems to be an issue here somewhere. Oh, I think I've spotted it. Seems to be right around here. Yeah, I think there's a... Yeah, there's a tiny chunk of belt here, I think. Yeah, there is. You can just barely see it. But that chunk of belt, I think, is not what it needs to be. Oh, boy. Can't seem to aim at it, I guess. But there's the culprit. Little Mark III belt sitting inside. So let's go like this, let's go like this. Mark IV, we'll attach it back up. And then what did that need to be? Do I even need anything there? No, I don't. I don't need anything there at all. Yeah, I wonder why that's happened. Again, this is from the... People keep messaging me. It's so funny. I get comments from like older episodes saying like, you know, if you're going to put down the merger, just look at the belt. And that's how it works. And I did that. I've done that before. You can actually see me in the videos looking at the center of the belt, holding control, and it doesn't work sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. I think especially from beneath, it doesn't seem to work properly. Anyway, that seems to have fixed it. Yeah, we're flowing smoothly now. All right. That's been like that the whole time, actually. So what about here now? This seems good. Yep, obviously it's a manifold, so it has to get up to the right speed, but looks totally good to me. Alright, it's cool. So now we're producing... I'll have a look at the actual machines and check. Anyway, so yeah, nice little boost. So finish the screw factory. I can obviously come back... Actually, well, I won't take that off just yet. We do have to put on the truck station, I suppose. So I suppose we'll do that now. Now that we have an upstairs portion. Right up here. So yeah, Again, I might move this in between episodes a little bit, but let's just get something down for now so that we can say that, like, yes, we have a truck station here. Able to pick stuff up and just deliver it where it needs to go. I guess I'll bring it in just a little bit, like here maybe. Alright, there we go. So this truck station is now getting its screws. And a truck will just have to come by and drop them off in one of those places over there. So I'll mark that as done for now. You know, it's basically done. I'll have to just clean up the aesthetics of it a little bit. Maybe nudge things forward or check that out. But that's... effectively this factory done. I'll need to just put a... Again, there's nothing up here. So I could get rid of this entire thing pretty much up until this point. Yeah, I might even just do that now. Just get rid of all this. Okay, good. So yeah, you could have a second station maybe on this side for all the screws. There's 11,000 in there, 5,000 in there. because this just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. So I'll need a truck. Can I make one right now? I actually can. Nice. And then I'll have to loop this around somehow. Might do a temporary loop on it, just coming out the back there, so at least we can queue up one of these things to start delivering its goods over there. So now, anyways, we can fuel this and start doing a little trial run drive. So, boom. Great. So obviously, do I have loads of concrete still? I've got loads, because obviously we just destroyed so much stuff. Yeah, I suppose just let's drag it out a little further. So we'll zoop it all the way to the end of the building. And this can hold quite a lot. All that's left is then just to bring up this truck. So for now, I'll just dump this in here. So it can refuel for a little bit as it makes its journey. And yeah, let's just back it up. Set it to load, actually, as well. We have to do that. I don't know if it was on by default. It is. So yeah, maybe I don't need that back part of the road, actually, thinking about it, but we'll just leave it as is. But I'll try this general route. Actually, I guess we need to start. Don't know if you can start from a loading bay, but let's try it. So, open record menu, start recording. F to load cargo. I think once you just do a little load, it knows to load it as full as it can. We'll just tell it to do that. And then we'll get driving. And for this one, just to make things interesting or different, I'm going to tell it to load into the third bay, so P3. So that's going to be Caterium, cables, and then screws comes in here. Alright. So I've hit F. It's not powered, but I think that'll still do it. And then this truck can come back out. Now what I needed to do is do this is where it would hit other traffic, right, that are going along that road. But if it just goes around like that, hopefully it'll be okay, you know? Similar sort of thing here, just do like a hard bank. Alright, path recording complete. Save that path. That's going to be screw factory to depot. Okay. There it goes, coming in hot. So what's it got on it now? 4,000. So it did do a pickup. Great. And it'll drop that in there. So then what we need to do is just feed these. Actually, I didn't actually check what's upstairs. Thinking about it. That's the determining factor for which station or which freight platform takes what. I can't actually remember. I used to have it written down, but I don't have it anymore. So that's quick wire. And then there's a gap. The gap is for plastic. This is why I prefer like having a train that could take anything in the future and then just divide it up later instead of having to work out what needs to go where beforehand. So, well, it doesn't really matter because in some ways, because this station's going to move a little bit. They can't be in line. It would be great if you could just feed this straight up and go into a freight platform, but the freight platforms are much closer together than the truck stations, so as a result, you just I'll have to like do a little finagling with that. But something while we're here, so I'll say that I've finished up the screw factory, so that's basically done, and we've got the route on working now. Finish the transport hub will be next. So in order to do that, I've had a rough plan of what I want to do here. This last station will be fuel, and it'll fuel all the other ones. So what we could do is its outputs, which are here. So this station is a... Yeah, well, everything loads anyway. No, sorry, this one won't load. Technically, it won't do anything. It won't be loading or unloading. The station above will feed it with fuel, the train station. Alright, so if that's the case, this is the only one that's actually going to have inputs on this side. Like so. So we'll just drag that down real quick. Something like this. Right, so you can imagine a train's going to deliver in fuel. The fuel will come down, and then it'll come out. Obviously, other trucks can just refuel right here. So in order for that to work, then the output here is going to do something kind of, well, not that complicated, I guess. Let's get a splitter. I'll need pretty good distance here, I think. Something about here. Yeah. Trucks probably aren't ever going to hit here. This is now going to feed down and hit every bit of those little fuel bits. So for those who don't know, on a truck station, this thing, if you put fuel in here, then any truck that visits it will take some fuel, so they get refueled. So that way, any truck that visits any of these will just get fueled automatically. That'll be the idea. So in the station above, we just need to make sure we're delivering some fuel in from the oil processing plant. And this connects to the oil processing plant anyway, so no big deal. Should be easy enough to set that up. Okay, so that's basically that. Now before I connect these, and just in case I've made a mistake, the other thing would be then, these are all going to behave in the opposite fashion. In terms of what they take in. So the trucks are going to bring stuff in, and on their outputs are going to go upstairs. And remember that we might have to have like a little sorting room or something. So we'll just do that. And that. I'm just using Mark III for now. I can update them later if I want to. Yeah, so that gives me enough room. We still have enough room along here for the splitter. That's all I was worried about, so that's fine. Sweet. Alright, so that'll be fuel in the future. Alright, let's just do one thing at a time then. So I suppose what I'll do first is put the floor holes in, then we'll connect the elevators, then we'll connect the fuel. So I'll just get doing that now, just duplicate this over and over again. I just had a little issue with this. I actually forgot to set it to unload. It was set to load. So now the screws should be flowing into it. Holy crap, it just did it actually instantly. It was on 0, and now it's on 6,000, 10,000. Wow, okay. It's clearly just piling it up really quickly. So that's great. So that's working as intended. I'll just run around to the back now. So basically they're all hooked up. They all have power, all of that. So eventually if we end up delivering fuel into this one, the one on the end, so P5 is the parking bay. If fuel ends up coming into this one, it'll get distributed down to all of the other ones. And we make turbo fuel, we make it in excess, so not going anywhere. So just need to set up a little train that delivers it down here, and that'll be perfect. So that's all well and good, really. I think really quickly, just at the back here, what I'm going to do is get the... Oh, it's right there. Glass foundations. We'll just raise it up to about here, turn it this way, zoop it along. I'll just create a little walkway so that we can kind of run along here. We could put lights up on the top maybe as well in the future to make it look a little bit nicer when it gets dark. And then we need a way to get upstairs, so I'll have to make a little stairwell now. That'll lead us up there, and then we'll just reconfigure the train station a little bit. I think I have to push it forward just slightly, because I don't think I counted for this thing being there. Well, really, upstairs, actually, I'll use the floor holes to redirect some of the goods down towards the train station. That might be a little bit quicker as well. Could I do a industrial railing? Yeah, people are educating me about the railing, saying that the industrial railings were the first ones in the game, but the modern railing is the one that's like modular, that works with ramps and stuff. Something like that's okay for now. Yeah, so cool. So I was thinking just around here, I'll have like a little walkway that leads up. That'll lead up to there. So I haven't planned it out, so I'll kind of just work one out myself and speed it up as I'm doing it. Is that better? Yeah, a little bit anyway. Alright, so that brings us up to here. We can see the floor holes, so that'll be for cable. This will be for caterium. This will be for screws, which you can see it actually has some screws on it right now. This will be for something else, who knows? And then this will be for fuel. So fuel, I think I'll be bringing in... Yeah, so I can just push the station up maybe a little bit forward. Just a little bit so I don't disrupt things too much. And then I'll just redirect some of these routes to feed into the various freight platforms. Yeah, I'm just trying to think how fuel's going to work then. So I'm not too sure, because with the length of the different trains and stuff, fuel being at this front end here makes it a little bit trickier. I think I could literally do this though, which would be really weird, but have another freight in front and then another station in front. That would work, right? Because it would still stop at South Junction, and the other train would try and stop at the one that's in front of it. I think that would work. Worth trying. Might as well give it a go. Alrighty, so I've basically just extended the railway. I moved it forward like, I don't know, about one foundation just over. And then I also added on the kind of second station. So this second station is, you know, what I would call the imports. So the South Junction imports. What this should be is just fuel. So fuel should come in here and go down that floor hole. And that's the floor hole that leads down to the first truck station, or the fifth truck station, really. You know, the one on the end. And that's the one that should feed all the other truck stations with the fuel they need. So I haven't hooked these up yet, but that's the general idea. So I just had a little bit of back and forth, like laying these out. To create like a bigger and bigger gap, I just added these kind of blank platforms in between. So hopefully you can have two stations on the same sort of little rail like this. I think you can. I don't see why not. So the first thing then would be that what needs to come out of here. Well, actually, I suppose what I could do is go like this. Rotate them both this way. And just drag this over. Just like that. So is that the right line? That's the line there, so it would have to be like this. 1, 2. Well, it needs to be there, but it needs to be raised, right? So correct. Alright, cool. So that should be... Oh, why is this stopping? Uh-oh. There might be problems with the signals, actually, thinking about it. I don't think that signal needs to exist anymore. Yep, that's alright. I'll actually need to... Can I make another train? What am I lacking? Computers. Oh, I have computers. They should be just over there. Yeah, because I'll need to get another train and go back up to the old train and see if we can... Because when you delete a station, it doesn't have the name of the station anymore. It doesn't know where to go, so... I wonder if I give it the same name, would it actually just continue along? Maybe it would. So I'll just do this. Make it a kind of a short descent. About there. And I could just feed in. Right, so that would be fuel hooked up, going down to feed all the other ones if we ever bring something in here. So I'll just rename this to just South Junction. Maybe the train will just... still make its way here. I'm not sure if that's how it works. As an autosave, just gotta wait. Right, so I'll just get rid of the word exports. That's now the proper name of the old station. So the other train is seemingly just here. It says operational. So we'll see if it moves. I don't know. If not, it doesn't really matter. I'll just take the train up there and then get another one back. So yeah, I can get rid of that container. That was just temporary. This was just holding some stuff for me while I emptied out the quick wire. So I also reorganized. So the screw, basically the way that train works is there is caterium here, plastic here, screws, and then cables. So because I had the screws on the third truck station, I've just moved it down to the second one so that it is just right next to where it needs to go in. So I just had to redo the truck route. Just did all that behind the scenes. Just to cut all that stuff out. You don't need to see me driving that route again, I don't think. Certainly nothing lost. Actually, yeah, I might do this instead. This might look better. Cool, there we go. There's the screws. They're here already. That doesn't look the best. Okay, so connect there, connect in, good stuff too. Alrighty, good. There we go. Now I know the sign downstairs says 1800 screws per minute. Currently it's 900 per minute. That's what we're picking up from that place, but it should be more than enough for a while, I think. But yeah, I can hook the both of them up together and get faster belts and stuff to improve all this. But the logistics should stay in place. Nothing needs to be added or removed. Just belts might need to be upgraded. So this one will be cables then. So cables will be coming from over here. So again, we'll just do a similar thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to say. And I think this is just like that. I'll just drag this one out. Is that the right height? It is the right height, at least. That's the important thing. So we just go along this route here. 1, 2. Is that right? Yeah. Alrighty. So that will be cables when we get some. I don't mind having poles in place sometimes, but I don't know. Just depends on the mood. Actually, that one was such a long one that it probably should have stayed there. Oh well. Alright, and then the Caterium. So the Caterium will come from here. Right, so it'll be parking bay 4. Yeah, so parking bay 1, cables. Parking bay 2, screws. 3, Caterium. 4, nothing. I don't know. It's just there in case I ever need it. And then 5 is fuel. Yeah, alright. Again, though, I think largely in the future this might end up all just doing ore. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're not quite at the Hyperforge level yet. That's going to take a while. As much as I'd love to forward plan and build things, that would just, it's basically need to kind of progress through the tree a little bit further. Especially for the Hyperforge, I think I'd need more power probably. So we have to do, I'm probably going to go out into the world soon. See, now that I've hit tier 7 and 8, I'm probably going to go exploring a bit more. Use the radar towers, find where nodes are, go collect oil, really beef up power like to the max before I even start going into nuclear power. So I have no idea what that is like, and people say it's really difficult to deal with waste. I guess you can't sink the waste, I assume. Sounds of things you can't. Alright, great. There we go, we're all hooked up. Hopefully I showed the important bit. I cut out like doing the train rail just because it can be really finicky. People do ask me, how do you get rails to be like really straight? I don't really know about straight rails. They seem pretty simple. If you just go like, you know, you look at the center of a foundation, you just, you know, go real far and then put it down at the same center point, then it's a straight rail. I don't really see why people have an issue with that. And then when there's connection points, like here we have a connection point, that's where I just broke this off. All I did was, I could just show you. All I did was just do this. So you wait until it's on your side. I just dragged it straight out and just hooked it in. Didn't even do anything particularly special. It looks pretty good. You just need to give it a good amount of distance, I think, and then it'll look decent. It needs to be at least 4 foundations away from the starting rail. And then it should be able to curve into it fairly nicely. Okay, so this one's left blank. We don't know what we're going to do with that one just yet. But one day there might be another thing here or something. I don't know. Or like I said, it could be the ore. The fuel one will probably stay the way it is. Don't know if I ever put these lights in. I can't. My memory's so bad. Did I? Oh, I did. Nice. Good. Yeah, it looks kind of nice. It's coming along. Just needs to improve those signs. All right, we're almost done. We're almost there. Obviously, that's temporary, but the way I'll make it look a little bit nicer. Once I can finalize the route of this place, then I can like kind of design the building around it. Make sure it looks a little bit neater or tidier. So I'll just go like this one last time. This is going to be a width of 4 leading into here. I reckon we can go a little further out. And then we'll go with the double ramp 4. I'll try the 8. I just think that the trucks are going to struggle with such a steep incline. That's so steep, I feel like. It doesn't have to come all the way down here, by the way. It needs to just go to the level of there. So let me just work that out. Just grab a foundation from here. But like I said, I know it's so much talk of like, oh, I'll do this in the future, but it is kind of like, well, I think it would be best to just take all the ore out of this place and then bring it to dedicated factories rather than have sporadic factories like this. At least that's the plan. So, but in order to get to that stage, we need to make computers, we need to make circuit boards, and I need this material to go to Circuit City to do that. That's why I need to do this first. So yeah, we'll just, I don't know, somewhere like right here is fine. Power line inside here I'm trying to grab onto. These already, they're all maxed out. Oh, there's power right below me. What am I doing? Okay. I was thinking as well, actually, if I ever get like most of tier 7 and most of tier 8 done, I might do a future series, a second series, or I start over. I don't start over like an episode 1 with nothing there, but start over and just do these like big builds on particular factories. So it's like, oh, like a 10-part episode on designing like a really well thought out big factory or something like that. Something like that might be kind of cool. Let me know what you think of something along those lines, because in this Let's Play, I'm trying to progress and keep things moving all the time, but that obviously means that I can't spend too long on any one particular build without like super heavy amount of editing. So this is going to be, the trucks here will load, the trucks there will load. This is going to take cable, so the quick wire. The quick wire will come from down here. Again, just make it look kind of nasty. Can we do it this way? There we go. Alright, quick wire's flowing in. That's the important thing. So now we just need trucks with routes to go up and come back down. That's it. In order to make it work. I might thicken that road up a little. I'm a bit worried about it only being... Oh my god, there's no way I'm going to make this. Power! Come on! Power! Yes! Let's go! Alright. Easy. So cable. Cable needs to pull into parking 1. And this one's going to the far end. P3, I think, right? Yeah. Pretty sure. There we go. Easy. No problems. So that's cable, screws, and then Caterium. Gotta fix the signs, actually. I say Caterium, it's quick wire. I always say that. Alright, so once all of these are now queued up, I can turn off the path nodes, and then we can just watch it. I mean, it's going to look janky, I guess, with the way they come in, but at least it'll be working. I'm looking forward to when this highway is a bit bigger, a bit better built, and we're just picking up ore and stuff. I think it'll look pretty cool, and then I can extend the depot to be a little bit longer as well, just a little bit. Alright, path recording done. Save this one. We'll call this one quick wire to depot P3. And that'll have to be it. So we'll hide the nodes, enable autopilot, and get out. Great. Alright. So we've done it. I mean, it's the most ham-fisted way of doing it, but it's done. The depot is operational. So yeah, this bit here will probably come out a bit further eventually. Not necessarily to have more trucks or anything. I think there's more than enough stations. It's just for a bit more access for us, and they'll probably have an underfloor area as well. But now we've got 3 trucks on the go here and 1 truck over at the screw factory itself. So I think that's basically that. So we can knock that one off for now. Say that's finishing what I want. It's finishing the logistics of the transport hub. Now I'm gonna have to go upstairs, and we'll grab a train. We'll drive all the way up to Circuit City, intercept the other train, and then get it to come down here. But now we can see, look at that. Quick wire's flowing in. That's flowing in. Is the cable in there? The cable isn't. Oh, I think I know why. I think I forgot to tell that one to load. It's probably stuck on unload. That should do it. And then just as another little quick thing, if I make my way down, oh, it's a pretty long walk, but if I just run down to the end, I need one of those little factory cars. If I make my way down to the end here, I'm just going to put the turbo fuel, the last bit I have of it, 3013, in this, just to see it get divided up. But we'll have to make a train that does this then as well. Wrong thing. It goes in here. So that turbo fuel then comes down and makes its way to each station. So every truck will get a little bit of extra fuel just for a while until I actually deliver fuel here properly. I'll do that in this episode. I feel like we've got the time to do it. But I'd love to see it. Our double things rising up looks damn good. In here it looks good. Just about. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. I did it, Mom. Will I hitch a ride on this? No, I think I can... I'm lacking motors. No, I'm not. Surely I've got motors over here. Then I could just make a train and get going. Oh, no, I really am lacking motors, apparently. Damn it. No other boxes now? Okay, I'll hitch a ride on that train then, or I'll just run over and get some motors. So I'll cut to when I get up to the other train. Alrighty, I'm on the Circuit City delivery train, so we can just see, as per the carriages, you know, we have Caterium, we have plastic already loaded up. There's a blank slot where I ran out of screws because I'd obviously cut off the screw supply a while ago. And then there's some cable at the end. So this should be making its way down now to the new station. I'm just curious to see how this is going to work with having a second station right in front of it. I'm guessing it'll be fine. And if that's the case, then we'll make another train and try to deliver that turbo fuel. Should pull in hopefully safely and okay. Now my guess is the other things are probably all full up already, so we might only see the one loading of freight. But there should be plenty of screws coming into there now. Oh, they're bringing some cables in as well. That's good to see. Yeah, topping up the cables and adding some screws onto the end there. Excellent. Good. Alright, so this is going to make its way back up to Circuit City now. And computer production and circuit board production will resume. Right, so I've just gone beyond Circuit City and just made my own train. I picked up some motors, basically, at the motor factory. And made my own train here, and I've just pulled up at the oil exports. So, this is where plastic comes from. We store plastic up in here, and one of the trains takes it away. So what I was thinking is... very simply, there's already an empty platform here, coincidentally. So I was thinking that I could switch this out, put in a freight platform, and load up the turbo fuel here on a small one freight train that kind of does its thing. So that's what I'm going to do just really quickly here at the end. And then I think what I can do with the other train is just tell it not to pick up turbo fuel, right? And then that way it should hopefully avoid it and not, you know, backlog its first cargo freight car thing. So yeah, let's just get rid of this. We'll just do this. Pop it down. And again, just very simple, similar to how we're ham-fisting in the plastic over on that side. I'm just going to do it similarly here, where I'm going to say like, yeah, just bring in turbo fuel, just like that. And then down below, if we can get down below, we'll pull it in from over there like we were doing before on that plastic line. In fact, I could probably just use that plastic line thinking about it. While it's there already. I did get rid of it, didn't I, inside? Pretty sure I did. Let's see. What's the best way to get in here? It's not really meant to be entered from this side. Oh, nailed it. Yeah, so this isn't in use anymore. But there's turbo fuel that's packaged up here. So basically, I could just go... Yeah, we're not going to be picking it up here anymore. So get rid of this bit. Something like that. Turbo fuel can then fly out that way. Alright, off it goes. Now, it's obviously only going to go out there if we clear the plastic off. And give it a destination, of course. So yeah, we'll just tell the plastic to be fed up into that floor hole. So it'll load the wrong thing for a second, but then I'll just clear that out myself. It's actually worked out pretty nicely having that there already. I know it's like a Mark IV belt. We don't need it. We're not making that much turbo fuel anyway, so there's really no need to have it be any better than that. Just going to get rid of something. One copper sheeting. And I can take my one instead. Alright, so that's just going to load plastic for a moment. Then we need to just go back upstairs, clear out that plastic manually, and then set the train to not pick up that stuff. So the train is stopped over there, which is perfect. I want it to be. That's good. So this should be loading up plastic now. That's fine as well. So while it's doing that, I'll just go over to this train. I'll say, hey, as per your timetable, when you reach the exports of the oil processing plant, do not pick up fuel. I think that will mean that no matter what carriage, it just won't do it. Hopefully. So let's see. Oil exports. Edit the timetable. Oil exports. Edit. Load only. Unload only. Well, at oil exports, we want you to only load plastic. That's all. So, is that it? That seems to be it. Save changes. So hopefully the first carriage here, the quick wire, won't have any fuel be dumped onto it. If my theory is correct. So, is this loaded up now? Yes, now we're finally getting it. Cool. I was going to burn that plastic, whatever. One super last thing I need to do over here. The next episode, I'm going to start going around and doing cleanup projects. So all these things I leave behind and don't touch up and don't make look nice. Probably the next one I'm going to focus on that. But I still have to drain these. They're full now. That should keep things running again. For another, like, I don't know, it only lasts like 20 minutes or something. It's not a long time at all. That should get the, I think, no, that, I guess that doesn't affect our turbo fuel actually. Alright, we're back up. Just about. I need to reorganize the station completely, really. Okay. Alright, nice. Good to see the turbo fuel just getting in there. Slowly, but, you know, that's, as long as it's in there, that's what matters. That'll keep our trucks running. Should be more than enough for our trucks to keep running. So, this train, I'm just going to tell it to go to oil exports and pick up, specifically just pick up turbo fuel, nothing else. So oil exports, and then it's going to go to South Junction imports. We'll tell this to load only packaged turbo fuel. Save. At the import, so yeah, South Junction imports. Unload only, not that we need to do this, but just anyway, why not? Save changes, turn on self-driving. And there we go. And we'll color this train red, I guess. Alright, we're in business, I think. And we'll just follow this down. That should be that done. Alright, we're here. The train is just pulling up yet again. How much has it got this time? 265, barely any more. Should do an unload now so we can actually get the payoff. I just basically ran downstairs and adjusted some of the signs and things, made the place look a tiny bit nicer. And I colored this platform, I guess this particular station, red. There we go. Beautiful turbo fuel coming straight out. Looking beautiful. So crimson, so red. So we'll just follow that down. And it should just get divided up amongst everywhere now. Even itself. So I was thinking about it, it's like, yeah, I mean, you don't need a station to do this, really. A truck station. If every station is just getting its fuel, you could argue that, like, well, this is a waste of a truck station, right? Something else could be loaded in here. So that's a good point that I made to myself, basically, which is like, why is this even a truck station? Nothing is being loaded or unloaded at the actual truck depot. It's just potentially it could be if places wanted, if things wanted to come by here and pick something up and go further. So maybe in the eventually I'll just change this so that it just comes down and gets fed into the machines themselves and keep this truck bay open for something else. There's no problem doing that. Open for ore in the future or something. Anyway, that should keep everything fueled. So that's basically going to be it for this episode. That way, now we have struggling trucks that can barely get up the hill. But in here, it looks a bit nicer. We have our... There. If we just cut the camera angle right there. Much better now. So now we've got our truck stations. They're little signs that say what they have, how much is coming in. I feel like those signs could be better. I see people do amazing looking sign work and screenshots and things. We've got our various trucks pulling in. They pull in so like haphazardly. That's why I have the ramps there, but even still, it's just like such a joke. But that's kind of cool, seeing them all go into their little bays. Hey, that was good timing. And I've colored them now to be their respective good, right? Quick wire, screws, cable. Okay. I think we're done. Good job, little trucks. So I'll probably go and just improve a few little things over there and just clean that building up. Put some pillars down on the other side of it and change the windows just a little bit now that we've changed a few things. Probably going to cut that road that I built out that way. It doesn't need to be there anymore. And that's going to be it. So thank you very much for watching. Leave your suggestions, comments, feedback, etc. below. Apologies for taking so long with these videos. They just do take me a long time. But I really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. As well, feedback about the various ideas I have, the Hyperforge, the idea of doing a mini-series built, all dedicated to giant builds in the future, now that I'm hitting tier 7 and tier 8, etc. Let me know what you think. Alright, it's going to be it for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.